Hey everyone, it's Owen here from OTech, and today we'll be taking a look at the Asrock B150M Pro 4 motherboard. Now, this is a bit late since this motherboard has been out for some time now. It came out with Skylake before Kaby Lake, and it's still on sale right now because the B chipset isn't replaced by isn't really completely replaced, with the B150 ones being cheaper, so just an extra option. And today we're going to be taking a look at one of them. So over here, let's just take a look at the box first. The back of it just shows some more marketing and features of the board itself. It has two graphics slots, or PCIe slots. Basically, one is the X16 3.0 straight to the CPU like usual, while the other one is to the chipset X4 3.0, and that's really only useful for NVMe drives or anything like that, because if you use two GPUs, AMD GPUs for example, then one of them is going to run at much lower bandwidth and it has a higher latency from the chipset than to the CPU, so it's not really an ideal use case. And it also has these features as usual about it going to last long and having high quality parts, like the usual stuff. It also has an upgraded audio compared to normal boards, and also surprisingly has an Intel LAN, considering how much this board costs, which is pretty cheap. Now on the front, they also slapped a next gen ready sticker to show people that this board is compatible with the Kaby Lake, and it's actually kind of useful because on B150 you don't officially support it in the first BIOSes, and you need a BIOS update to use Kaby Lake. So before you buy these kind of older Skylake boards for your Kaby Lake CPU, make sure that it has the latest BIOS or it won't even boot. So this sticker signals that this board will work right out of the box with the new BIOS. And yeah, anyways, let's take a look inside. Some packing foam, I guess, and the first thing you see. And there's the user manual, quick start guide, I guess, combined into one. And yeah, it has a lot of languages, pretty well thought out. There's also the driver CD, which, like I always said, don't ever use, and just download the latest drivers from the website. And they also provide a free Norton, like 1 year or a few months I think, which I don't really recommend using either, because it's not really useful, and these days Windows Defender is pretty much all you need. Next, you also have these SATA cables. One of them is curved or bent 90 degrees, and one of them is straight, depending on your use case. And you also have the I/O bracket over here. It's a plain metal one. I would have preferred something better, like this being stickered to be black or painted black, but this is just a really basic cheap board that gives you all the features without all the frills and unnecessary stuff. So it makes sense for them to cut corners that way, and I prefer them to cut corners that way than cut corner in things that affects performance. So here it is, wrapped in an anti-static plastic bag as usual, and here's the board itself. So what strikes me is that, considering the price of this board, it even has an I/O shield, which usually only the higher end, more expensive boards have, because this costs money to implement a plastic cover thing, and it does look really good in my opinion, covering all the shiny metal bits of the I/O. And in this board, because it's a B chipset, it has 4 memory slots. These are DDR4 memory slots and rated at up to 2133 megahertz. And over here is the chipset heatsink, which is, I assume, is made of copper, but it could be just anodized aluminum to look like copper, but I'm pretty sure this is copper for the heatsink itself. And also the same thing for the Vrm heatsink. And this is really nice of Asrock to include a Vrm heatsink on a board this cheap, because usually cheaper boards don't have VRM heatsinks since they consider a heatsink as optional, which it actually really is. This board will probably be fine without a heatsink on the VRM, but it's nicer that way. It looks nice and it improves performance, temperature, and efficiency. These two are, I guess, are the GPU VRMs, and these are the core VRMs as usual. It has a two-phase memory VRM as well. And over here is the 8-pin connector. This here is the 24-pin ATX connector, and also some SATA connector, a USB 3 connector, and also I guess there's some more SATA at the bottom and the front panel connectors, and also USB and speakers and clear CMOS jumper over here. There's also some older TPM connectors, I think that's what they're called, and there's also another COM port and also audio port at the side here. Now for the fan headers, it has one over here and one over here and also one over here. So in total it has 3, which is more than most boards in this category, which I think is really nice, and it would really be helpful for more boards to have more fan connectors, with cases these days supporting a lot of fans, so you don't need to get splitters and adapters and stuff. Now for the I/O, it has a PS2 port combined, 2 USB 3, 1 VGA port, 1 DVI port, an HDMI port, and an Ethernet LAN, which is powered by an Intel NIC, 2 USB 3, and also some audio outputs and inputs. But yeah, that's basically it. This board is actually pretty fully featured in my opinion. The only thing that's missing from a higher end board is a digital audio output and also an M.2 slot, which you can clearly see is not available on this, because I think this board has the same PCB layout as their more expensive Z170M Pro 4 board. I think that's what it's called, but it's just a lower end one, so they remove some features while using the same PCB design. But yeah, that's basically it. This board really looks like a really good value compared to other boards, so I would actually highly recommend this, since I've also used a couple of these and they work really well. They support i7 processors, of course, and you can't overclock because it's B chipset, not Z, but with the processors being clocked so high, it's pretty much fine, and the VRM heatsink helps. The VRM stays cool even in high loads. But yeah, that's basically it for this unboxing and quick look. And let's just take a look at the board itself. As you can see, it has a sort of a glossy black finish. I would have preferred a matte finish, but that'll probably cost more, and as long as it's black, it's pretty much okay. But yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more of my videos. Thanks for watching.